Son finds out missing mom is $100K in debt. It was too much to take in. It felt like his world was falling apart. The number 100,000 rattled around in his head like spiky dice. How was this even possible? How did she let things get this bad? But the biggest question wasn't about the crippling debt, it was why she had disappeared. Ricky Smith might have just turned 18, but he wasn't the type of kid that was desperate to bolt from home as soon as the candles were blown out. His family meant everything to him, especially his mom, Martha. She had gone through so much, but had still pulled their family through some tough times. Including their deadbeat dad. It might have been nerve-wracking, but it wasn't a surprise at all when she suddenly packed up everything they owned and moved them to the other side of the country. Ricky marveled at her determination to keep going as a single mom. And it all started with a tube of pink lipstick that became part of her new signature look. It was her personal bonus for the new job that would put food on their table. It had something to do with finances. But, for Ricky, things felt off for some reason. There were days she would come home with a fresh wardrobe and new makeup. Other days she would come home bawling. Ricky felt his heart break as his mom cried about being a failure and needing to set things right. She was a wonderful mom. How could she not see it? It seemed the shine of a steady paycheck wasn't what she had imagined. But the worst part was just around the corner. It was like any other week, but instead of his mom coming home with Thursday night pizza, she didn't come home at all. The coming days were the worst ones in their lives. And it only got worse when they found her car abandoned and burned. Next were the text messages. Ricky felt his stomach drop when he found out that his mom had been texting her ex-husband about trying again. The man was awful. He hadn't changed at all. Things only got worse when the cops seemed to move on to other cases. Ricky wasn't going to wait around. He had to act. The first step was Martha's tiny hidden safe. There had to be at least one clue in there. The cops didn't think it was important, just a cheap thing to keep cheap jewelry in, but he was going to prove them wrong. It didn't take many tries until one combination worked: their birthdays. He pulled out a huge stack of bills. File after file revealed the crushing debt his mom was under. 100K was a staggering amount, but why had she disappeared? The only sign pointed to a pile of receipts with a business he would never have imagined his mom stepping into. He prayed what he was imagining wasn't true. The drive to the big flashy building felt like forever. While others might have found the bright lights and loud sounds alluring and exciting, it only made him feel like he wanted to throw up. Ricky walked the aisles until he finally laid eyes on his mother. There she sat, hair tangled, clothes in shambles, and pink lipstick smeared. She stared at the rolling images like a ravenous dog in front of a sizzling steak. The slot machine dished out a losing combination. His mother cursed and slapped the screen. Tears streamed down his cheeks as he said, "Mom." She whipped around. Her eyes turned huge and cheeks as red as the tacky casino carpet. It was her turn to start crying. Never in a million years would he ever had imagined his mom having a gambling problem. Through her cries, she tried to explain. It turned out that one of her self-bonuses was a trip to a casino with some friends. But instead of a fun trip, it had turned into a nightmare. All those paychecks for all those years were from her addition. The burnt car was an attempt to get insurance money. Through the entire ordeal, Ricky had imagined the worst: debt collectors, thieves, muggers, even a few nightmares about the mob. Part of him wanted to scream at his mom, but when he saw the terrified shell of a woman sobbing next to him, he knew what he had to do. It was clear his mom needed help. She had worked so hard to give them a good life. Now it was his turn to help the family. The 100K debt was still there, but at least they hadn't lost their mom. They would face the future together.